What is going on, good people? Bound for Glory 2020 review coming at you. DJ and Justin here. You can actually see us for once during the intro scene. I'm going to bring all the logos up so you can make sure you see everything we have to offer right here at the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. If you want to listen to us, of course, you got Anchor, Apple Podcasts. You can also Google us. We are, as they say, Googleable. And if you want to watch us, usually first and foremost, we are live on Facebook and then YouTube shortly after. So that's all the different ways you can watch us. You can support and share us and all of that good jazz. But nonetheless, we're gonna let the intro play. That'll give you a chance to kind of see, what this crazy podcast we do is all about. How funny we are, how corny we are, especially Justin. But anyway, so once that gets all set, we will be ready to go, and we'll get this Bound for Glory review underway. Which I thought was pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was pretty good show. I think Justin agrees it's a pretty good show. So he'll be here in a second, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit.
Let's get it.
And welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And your
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid.
They're fat.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Alright, we are officially live with this Bound for Glory review. DJ and Justin here, of course. Getting ready for this review here for Bound for Glory 2020, which overall, Justin, I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I thought it turned out to be a darn good show. And I was very excited going into it. I think it was kind of one of those shows where, they had some good feuds that were built up very well, and some good feuds that felt like they were like, whoa, good payoffs to these feuds, especially for your biggest pay-per-view of the year. I think they did a good job with it. They had some surprises, which of course we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. But Justin, overall thoughts on the show? How are you feeling after Bound for Glory?
I actually thought the show was really good overall. I mean, I don't really have any complaints other than like a few things which we'll talk about later on in the show. But I was like, this whole buildup has been great. Like, for being a really small company, like not much people like watching this company right now. I mean, people don't give TNA the credit that they deserve.
Justin, real quick, that deserves huge air quotes. Because this is the same company that's been going out of business since day one. That's been that nobody watches, nobody talks about, but was trending. I think it was 8 or 6 worldwide, but nobody watches Impact. Mm-hmm. Nobody at all.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like when people hear the name Impact Wrestling or TNA, they go like, oh yeah, they quickly write it off because they go like, oh yeah, they think about the bad moments. See, people need to give it a chance, because. I mean, it doesn't matter what you like, as long as you enjoy what's being the product that's being on TV. I mean, yeah, they do bad moments, but I mean, WWE does bad moments also. Not any company is perfect in any means. I mean, you're going to have this ups and downs, but overall on this show, I really enjoyed it.
I agree, Justin. I think it was a very good show. I think they did some good stuff with it. I think, like we talked about before, this show had its moments. Like, it had its things that I think everybody was like, I got to see. Oh, I got to see what this is about. I got to see, I got to see how this feud plays out. There were things that like we felt like were definitely going to go a certain way, and then they didn't, and it was like, whoa, okay. Let's see what else Impact has in store for us. So that I thought that was kind of cool. That was a very cool little thing that they did where it was like, this show's definitely gonna have its surprises. It's definitely gonna have its whoa moments, I think.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. And like, you see, a lot of companies these days, like, I go to WWE for that. A lot of things are really predictable. And like, okay, so when we were doing our predictions, either there was some stuff that looked predictable that I go like, oh yeah, I think they would put the title on this person, but no, they go completely like do a flip of 180 there, and they go in a different direction. I like that because I don't like when companies are two dimensional. I like when they go outside the box, do something else, which I like that a lot.
Like
It
you
makes
said,
it different.
sometimes they go outside of their division and between your division.
But the between division, and got my Patrick Mahomes jersey on here, but we're not talking about football. We're not talking about
Speaking
football.
of, we do NFL picks too. So in case you were curious to where those references came from, then there you go. But yeah, like you said, I think people write off Impact a lot, and people have this weird notion that Impact's dead and they've been dead and they'll never be relevant again and all of this. And my thoughts on that is that's not necessarily true. Simply because we got to remember every wrestling company right now is literally 1 star away. And this is a discussion I want to have with you and probably Rabbit and probably Adam, Casey as well. Like every wrestling company is literally 1 big star away from breaking out. And people don't believe that. And it sounds crazy when you think about it, but it's really true. Think about some of the formative years of TNA in the ratings. It was when they signed some of their biggest stars, even though people want to. Oh yeah, that didn't. Yeah, that was the part that was terrible about. Yeah, people want to close their eyes and try to act blind to it, but it happened. So
And also, I feel like why people don't watch Impact as much is because they're like on a smaller channel. I think if they eventually, because they've been on so many different channels these last few years, like ever since like 2015. So I think if they get onto like a bigger channel that's on cable television more, I feel like more people will get their eyes on it, more eyes on the product. But I mean, that's just my opinion, though.
I can see that too, and I we've talked about this before, talked at length about this, just about how Impact has this weird way of being on these odd channels, and like some of their best ratings were when they were on Spike TV, which is a channel that almost everybody can get. I'm pretty sure practically everybody can get. And that helps. It helps to be able to reach in that way. I think. That's one of the things that is good. It does help to be able to reach. In that way and be able to reach and see like, okay, I can watch this company whenever I want to watch this company, and sometimes I think wrestling's hard to find, and especially now with everything going on and like having no crowd, you always have an excuse to not watch wrestling. And one of the things, speaking of not having a crowd, that hurt me a little bit last night, and I felt like took me away from some of the matches, especially like we had these big moments, we had these big returns, we had shocking title changes, and there was no crowd to soak it in. There was no crowd to soak in that moment of people finally winning championships, or for example, Sue Young and her return. Nobody was able to be like, whoa, and it's kind of like, I feel like with Impact, that's the one thing that's missing. Because I like this match that I have on the screen now with the six-way scramble, the intergender match that had included Jordan Grace going after the X Division Championship. This was one of those matches that like I thought held its own even though it didn't have a crowd. But there were other matches that I felt like on this card, it's not that they were bad, it's just that I feel like I couldn't get into them because there was no crowd. I had nobody to push me one way or pull me the other way. But I mean, I cannot get used to wrestling without a crowd. We talked about it before. AEW's done a good job with it, with at least adding some sort of sounds in, or some sort of people, at ringside or something. WWE has adjusted to it. The only two companies and of course New Japan has adjusted because they've done a really good job with the pandemic, so they've been able to bring fans back into the audience at a more of a frequent rate, easy for me to say. So I mean, I feel like that's what's missing right now for me, especially from Impact. Like, I think Impact puts on some incredible shows, but I get very frustrated at Impact because Impact at the same time is not adjusting to the times that we're in. Now, albeit they don't have the budget that AEW has, and they don't have the budget or the roster size that either AEW or WWE, that they possess. So that hurts a little bit. That hurts a little bit because you don't have so much of a roster to send out there and be like, hey, you know, you know, help us out a little bit, give us a little bit of crowd noise here, and they may not have the means to pipe in the crowd noise, like a WWE can or like a AEW can, with the financial backing that they've been given. So I mean, yeah, that's where I'm struggling a little bit with wrestling right now. And even with this show, like, I thought it was good, it was enjoyable, but there were some things that like I felt like the cinematic match was one of the best matches because you didn't need a crowd to make it enjoyable, because it was in its own little, it was in its own little deal, so you didn't need a crowd to make it enjoyable. I mean, what's your thoughts about, not having a crowd right now? I think it's hindering wrestling more than anything. Like football, we can deal with it a little bit. Other sports you can deal with it a little bit because you kind of can just get into the sport without a crowd. But wrestling is just it's an entire other beast that is not that doesn't really allow that.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, we talked about on many different shows before, and like on our predictions or any of wrestling shows before, and like I said, Impact, they're not adapting to these times right now, and the same with Ring of Honor, they haven't been adapting with it. And like you said, it's a smaller company, a smaller company. They don't have the budget that like WWE or AEW has. But they could at least do a little something, I mean, they could go get some like crowd noises or something like that. I don't know, but it's still
too, Justin, even if they hired like indie guys or something, like give me some, like you don't even gotta hire them. I think some of these local indie guys, or like pay them just a little bit, like not like barely anything, just to come in and just be loud a little bit, just to come in. Like some of these indie guys will be completely happy, within the area, would be completely happy with getting their face out there and being able to rub shoulders with some of these Impact guys. Like, it's that easy. It's like, if I had this issue, I would be going to get, some of the young kids that look up to some of the college athletes or something. Like, I'm talking about in sports, getting some of these young kids that look up to these college athletes or something, and having them come out there. You ain't even got to pay them, because if I can go to a high school kid and bring him to a college kid, and he can rub shoulders with that college kid and say, hey, I want to see what what all do you do? Like what's the workout schedule? How hard is this? Like, how hard would it be for me to make it to the next level? Same thing with wrestlers. It's the same concept. If these indie guys can see some of these professionals, like these guys who are at the top of the top, who have reached their dreams, if they can see these guys, talk to these guys, pick their brains, as they say, I mean, they would love it, and they would do it for free. Like, they would literally come out there and make noise for free because it's wrestling. Like,
and that's a great thing about wrestling, because like once you at wrestling shows, you can go be around somebody you don't even know, and you feel like you know them for your whole life. It's just crazy, and that's how that's how people with these indie wrestlers, if they were around the ring and stuff, because they filmed their shows in Tennessee, like I think Nashville. That's where their headquarters are at, whatever, in Nashville, Tennessee. So yeah, just get some local indie guys from there, and then like have them, of course, do some like COVID testing before they go in, like do some screening, and then they could be around the ringside, for multiple tapings, like what AEW does and stuff. But yeah.
Agreed. Let's jump into this first match. Let's jump into this 6-way scramble match. Good little discussion to start. This was one of the matches I thought was, probably in the heading for, on the top of the list for match of the night. This was a very good match. And what I loved about it, of course, with Rohit and his character development that we're seeing right now, is, number one, he's hilarious. And number two, this is gotten Rohit to a whole nother level. Rohit was the forgotten man. He was like almost, even though it was like he was the leader of the Desi Hit Squad, he almost was like the the scapegoat of the Desi Hit Squad in a way. Like nobody cared, nobody wanted to watch him. I didn't want to see him on TV. Like I didn't, like with the Desi Hit Squad, they didn't do it right, so I didn't care. But now this has entirely turned his character around and really given him new life. And I think he's done as champion a better job than Chris Bay did in the short time he had as champion. I think he's really grown with this, and he's really found his way. And I think this could really propel him, to another height. After this whole title run is over. But this match was awesome. Jordan Grace looked good in this match. I felt like everybody, except for maybe Trey Miguel. For some reason, Trey Miguel just looked like it wasn't his fault. It just felt like there weren't spots incorporated with Trey Miguel in them, to show him off or something. For some reason, I don't know what that was. Like this is the first match I've seen where Trey Miguel just didn't look like he was that much of a part of the match for some reason, and I'm not certain why. Because I love Trey Miguel, but it just felt like for some reason I was like, what's going on? Like, why is Trey Miguel not involved more in this? For some reason, he's not involved, and I don't like it. That was the only thing I didn't get. I felt like Jordan Grace got a good look in this match. Willie Mack got a good look in this match. TJP got a good look in this match. Who else? Of course, Rohit got a good look in this match. Even Chris Bay got a good look in this match. Yeah, Willie Mack. He got everybody, but Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel, I felt like didn't get to show himself off. Especially considering he's kind of the singles guy of the Rascals. He's the guy that kind of is able to go on his own and do his own single stuff because, of course, Desmond Xavier and Wentz, they're doing their own thing as tag teams. Of course, they're still a unit. But I don't know. That was the one thing that was weird to me. But I mean, the match was good. It had some good spots in it, some good high flying spots. TJP with the good technical stuff, putting the submission on every single person possible. Rohit with his little equality screaming at a couple of moves at Jordan Grace, which was funny. Chris Bay did some good stuff, showed off some athleticism. I'm hoping to see a little bit more from some of these other guys because it shows you how much talent this X Division really has. From the top all the way down, and the good thing about it is when you think about the X Division right now, the bottom of the division, whatever that means, is not even that far away from the top because Rohit was just at the bottom not too long ago. If Chris Bay's at the bottom, he was just champion. The only one who hasn't won X Division Championship gold is Trey Miguel. And the only reason, and of course Jordan Grace, but the only reason Trey Miguel hasn't won championship gold is because he kept losing to Ace Austin. So and he's been with the Rascals, so he hasn't really had as many opportunities as everybody else. I think the X Division is really solid right now. The X Division has some really good legs on it, and I'm really excited to see, what else they do with the X Division. What's your thoughts on the 6-way scramble? Of course, Rohit retained because nobody can beat Rohit.
Nobody can beat Rohit. I mean, nobody can. No, I thought this was a really great opener to open the show. I like how everybody at the beginning of the match, they went after Rohit. Like, he tried to get away from everybody, out of this whole match. And which I love the type of heel that he is. And like he pointed out, when he was yelling out equality every time he got into an altercation with Jordan Grace during the match, that was pretty cool. I also like this one spot. It was like a tower dance spot. Jordan Grace, she was tied up in the ropes, and she just does a suplex. She suplexes, I think it was Trey Miguel, who was Chris Bay, and it was somebody else, TJP. That was really cool during the match. I think everybody kind of got in their own little spots during the match. A lot of high flying, really fast paced action. And also I like when TJP had on the multiple submissions on everybody. That had me dying laughing. Man, dude, that was funny. But in the end, I love that Rohit retained, and he kind of cleaned up the scraps after who was it? It was TJP. He hit a frog splash, he hit a frog splash, and then he came in, hit a running knee, and then picked up the 1, 2, 3. I mean, I like what he's doing here. Like I love that so much. And he says he's outsmarted everybody. Like nobody's smarter than him, and it's just amazing all this stuff, all the shenanigans that he's doing. And I enjoyed this top to bottom. And also Jordan Grace, she didn't feel out of place during this match. Like I felt like she might have been like it would have been out of place, but she, I feel like TNA, they do a really good job with these intergender matches, which not really much companies are really doing that. Like I feel like Impact has always been around the going around the curve before anybody else, like any of these other wrestling companies, like with intergender wrestling, because intergender wrestling has gone up a lot. Like after these, ever since Tessa Blanchard a few years, like last year, she won the World Championship. So I feel like intergender wrestling has been improving a lot lately, which I kind of, I like it, but if you do it badly, then, but I like it though here. It was good.
And two, intergender wrestling is, I think it's a little hard to book because you got to protect everybody. On one hand, you got to protect your female wrestlers and show that they're strong, but on the other hand, you don't want to make you want to make it feel believable, especially because wrestling is one of those things where you do not see women winning, the male titles very often. They kind of have their own divisions, they do their own things, and they really don't cross paths that much. So, like you said, I think Impact has done a good job with it because I was a little surprised when Tessa won the world title. Of course, from Sami Callihan, I was a little upset when she won it because, of course, I love Sami Callihan, one of my favorites in Impact. I think his run was way too short, but I think they did a good job with her because she went from maybe I mean, in my opinion, at the time, the top women's wrestler in the world to being the world champion. That makes a lot of sense. That's what you would want. That's what you would want out of it. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on that. I feel like that's exactly how you would want that to turn out. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think they did a good job even booking Jordan Grace in this match because Jordan Grace is strong. She's very, physically she's big. Like her muscles are huge. Like she's got bigger muscles than me and you combined. So it's like, it's, I mean, like she fits in, with this whole thing. And of course, going back to Tessa was so technically savvy that it works. You just have to make it work. You have to make it seem believable, which I think sometimes can be hard because we don't see it enough to believe it. So, but to the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, I'm trying to remember everybody that was in this. I mean, it's pretty much the rest of the Impact roster. Sami Callihan was in it because he didn't have a match later. Pretty much everybody from the wedding was in it. They had a little segment beforehand saying that they probably would have to have the wedding in the ring. So that's probably going to happen this week on Impact more than likely. But it was very interesting because some of the surprises, James Storm made his return, so that was cool. It was cool to see him. Daivari, I think, yeah, he did make his return. He's been in Impact before.
Yeah.
And he looked huge. Like this dude is ripped, like shripped. Like the man hit the gym the day after he was released. like the day after he split with Muhammad Hassan, he hit the gym. That's what he looks like. Like, goodness. Swoggle was in this match. That was another one of the kind of surprises. Am I missing one? Of course, Slater and Rhino were in this match. I feel like I might be missing one.
I think you nailed it. I think you tell.
I think that was it for like surprises. The rest of it was like the roster.
What's that?
I think the rest of it was just like the roster. Like.
Yeah, because he said Daivari, James Storm, and Swoggle. Those were the only three kind of surprises.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was good. Like I said, I think we both love Impact's gauntlet style matches. Where they do the over the top rope type deal, and then they'll do the one fall to a finish ending. Who were the last two in this match? It was Rhino.
It was Rhino and Sami Callihan.
Okay, that's right. Rhino and Sami Callihan. Which is good. I thought that was good. That was a good move. It was interesting because like there were a lot of people thinking that Sami Callihan was going to win this match. So they weren't thinking Rhino was going to win, and I think a lot of people came into it thinking that Slater was going to win and save both of his and Rhino's contracts. I was almost I was surprised that people felt like Rhino would lose this, but I think they were just saying that because they were going to extend the storyline with now Rhino's got to get his contract and Heath's got to get his contract, but so now Heath's got his contract, and of course Rhino retains his contract. So that's interesting. Of course Hernandez and Fallah Bahh, they did their whole thing with the water cash in this match. I think Hernandez eliminated himself to go get the water cash at one point in the match. So that was.
And Fallah Bahh also eliminated himself during the match to go get the water cash because the water cash fell outside the ring.
Right.
That was funny.
Right. That was funny. So yeah, I mean, for what this was, it being a gauntlet match, it was good. It had some funny things in it. It had some entertaining stuff in it. And this is one of those matches that I think you have to find the entertaining parts in it, because gauntlet matches and over the top rope battle royals are kind of all the same in a way. They kind of come off sometimes being the same, but I think they did a good job booking it. And it was kind of a good little comedic at times, funny at times, but serious at times. Little rest for the fans to calm down from the 6-way to start the night. So I mean I thought it was good. Of course Rhino won, and that's gonna be interesting to see what exactly they do there, because with Heath and Rhino now, I feel like they might go after the tag titles, because I don't see Rhino going. I mean, I know I'm sure he would want to, but I would see him going after more of the tag titles than I would see him going after, the world title or the X Division title or something like that.
He's going to go after they're going to go after the Knockouts tag team.
Right, they're going to go to, that's what they're going to do, exactly. But how are you feeling about the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match and how it played out?
I thought it was, fun. Like, I thought, there were a lot of shenanigans during this match, but, that's what this type of gauntlet match is. But like you said, the returns in this match, like seeing James Storm come back, that was pretty cool. Hopefully this isn't just like a one-time blowout thing. Hopefully he's actually back on here, because I would love to see a rivalry with James Storm and Sami Callihan. That would be awesome to see. And also, Brian Myers, he looked like a Roman Reigns in this match. He was just eliminating everybody in this match. I mean, he eliminated Swoggle. He eliminated Tennille Dashwood. Who else did he eliminate? I can't think of everybody off the top of my head, but he was eliminating every single buddy until Heath came in the match and he finally eliminated him. But no, Brian Myers, he just looks really good. He's the most professional wrestler in this company. that's what he calls himself. But no, I thought this was really fun match, and also it's a shame what happened. It's a shame what happened with Heath in the match with him kind of getting injured. Like I went back to watch the show again, and I saw the spot where he got injured, like hurt his knee. And like during the whole match, like he was just kind of limping around on his knee. So I thought that maybe they were going to go with Heath, having him win. But I saw the referee coming up talking to Heath quite a bit during the match. So maybe they go like, okay, let's go with Rhino now, because we don't want to. Because who knows how long Heath is going to be out, and like we don't know how serious this injury is here. But no, this was so hopefully that he's not seriously injured here. I heard it was like he tore something in his knee, but
yeah,
I'm happy that Rhino won and finally he.
Yeah, I had forgot about
what's that.
I forgot that he had gotten injured, and if he tore something in his knee, that's a rough way to do it.
Yeah, because he tweeted something. He tweeted last night saying, like, showing it looked like he was at like a hospital or somewhere, and saying, I don't remember exactly what the tweet said, but yeah, he tweeted something about his knee. So hopefully everything's all right with that, because that would just suck. He starts doing something here, everything just gets halted.
Yeah,
But
and I saw
no,
that
it was
too.
it was
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw the tweet. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, but no, this was fun. Like you said about the follow ball and Hernandez stuff, that was pretty funny. That was I was dying laughing at that. Um, but no, this was fun though. I enjoyed it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it too. Um, I think like we said, they did a good job booking this match. Speaking of matches with great storytelling, of course, if you haven't watched Hell in a Cell, not gonna spoil anything for anybody, but in terms of storytelling, we've had some really good matches over the weekend with really good storytelling in them. Of course, Rich Swann and Eric Young was one of them that was a very good storytelling type of a match. Um, but one of my favorites storytelling wise was EC3 versus Moose, in the undisclosed location match. And I felt like, some people were like, I heard a lot of complaints on EC3's, his return and him kind of not jobbing the Moose per se, but, him losing the Moose in his first night, his first kind of real match back and all of that. Um, I mean, I think people are splitting hairs at this point. Um, with that whole deal. I think this match was hard to explain. This match was like it was so interesting that it was hard to explain. And I think people are like the reason I say people are splitting hairs is because number one, I don't think we understood what the control your narrative character was in the first place. We didn't learn it until this match. This match is what told us what the control your narrative character was and what direction it was going in. We always thought it was the fact that EC3 was trying to, we thought it was an EC3 versus TNA thing. Where, because at first, you remember at first when he first came back, that those first couple of promos, he was talking about himself and like even in this match, he flashed back to his former self and not want to do things like his former self did, like the elite of the elite EC3 version, like Dixie Carter's nephew. He didn't want to do stuff like that. So for me, like at first it felt like he was talking about himself, but then you get into this match and you learn that maybe he's talking about other people. Specifically, here of course he's talking about Moose being a real champion, and which I thought was excellent the way they told the story with EC3 was beating Moose down, and he's like, be a real champion, be the real monster that you are. Like, if you want the title, go get the title. Like, you don't have to hold a fake title to be a champion. And a lot of people didn't like that. I guess people thought it was like weird that EC3 was encouraging Moose to be himself or something. But like people got to remember too, like the storytelling even goes deeper than that because what does EC3 hold? As of right now, what does EC3 hold more dearly than anything else? The TNA World Title. That's his biggest achievement right now. That's literally his biggest achievement. That's the biggest thing he's done in the wrestling business is held the world title and really like put a company on his back. So like that's huge. Like for Moose to come in and act like the world champion, but then of course have the potential of being a world champion. EC3 telling the story of, hey, you got all the potential in the world, but you're not world champion. Go get what you want. Control your own narrative, as he says. Control your narrative. And I don't know. I think maybe something tells me this is setting up like a faction or something. Like the way it was, like him working with Moose that in depthly, like it's not even a word. Him working with Moose that much.
I mean, we make up words on here on
We
the
do.
Instant Classic
We
Wrestling
make
Podcast.
we're gonna have our own ICWP dictionary. But him, like to me, him doing all of this, almost sacrificing himself for Moose, feels like they're gonna work together in some way. Which is interesting because to me, like a lot of people are like, yeah, we want EC3 back. We want EC3 to be world champion again. But like, I can wait. I can wait on that because I want to see what else EC3 can do. Like, that's the cool part about this character. We've never seen EC3 have a character like this. He's always been the elite of the elite. I'm better than you. I'm entitled. I'm all of this. And this is just so much different than that. This is such the complete opposite. So there's so much more to this character, I think, that we don't even know yet. And that's kind of like, and it reminds me a little bit of like Bray Wyatt too, where like there's so many layers that literally has taken us years to get to, to get through. Like the Fiend was a product of Bray Wyatt that Bray Wyatt talked about like 4 years ago. So like this is another one of those characters that has so many layers that I think we haven't even stepped on yet, because like we talked about before, EC3 was talking about himself at first, and then he saw the mistakes he made, and then went to Moose about it, and now maybe it's gotten Moose to be better than he's ever been. So, I mean, wouldn't you want that? Like, I personally don't want to see EC3 champion right now. Maybe in a year or so, maybe in 6 months or so. But like that world title scene is so crowded. Like, let the dust settle a little bit, and then let EC3 come in and take the title. Like, because that's probably eventually his narrative, right? like that's eventually where he's going, is to reclaim what's his. So, but I mean, overall, I thought this was really good. I thought the storytelling, and it was really good. It really brought from some clarification on EC3 and his character, and it really kind of brought out the Moose we know and love. This like monster Moose, this athletic freak Moose. This kind of like I can destroy everybody type of a Moose, like this world championship material Moose. Like I mean, we've been saying Moose should be world champion for how long now? Like literally since he went to Impact, and he hasn't won it yet. This is the closest he's been, is finding the TNA world title and carrying it around and defending it. So, I mean, I enjoyed it though. I thought it was really good. What's your thoughts on EC3 versus Moose?
I thought I really enjoyed it. Also, this is probably
also you have
what was that? I have been warned. I have been, indeed, I have. And also control your narrative. But no, I really enjoyed this a lot. This is probably one of my favorite cinematic matches of the year, in my opinion. There's only like really one gripe I have about this. Like when those people were, or whatever, EC3's minions or whatever they were banging on the ring apron or the mat for a little bit. Like that was kind of getting annoying. So if that was going to happen during the whole match, I was going to kind of get upset. But Moose, he was getting upset. He was like, "Hey, knock it off!" And like those people knocked it off. But I also like the attire that Moose was wearing, like that all white attire. Because I mean, we saw some blood here. This was very gory. Like this was very a brawling style match. Something that I would see in a movie. And I also kind of liked the music that they were playing. I mean, that's a small little part about it. That was pretty cool. And also like the dialogue that they were doing back and forth. Like, Moose saying, why are you going after me? Why? And he keeps telling him to talk. And I also like when EC3 was talking to him, saying, tell him like the mistakes that he made and stuff. And he's saying, be the Moose, be that monster that everybody wants you to be. Like DJ said. And finally, Moose was saying all that stuff. And then I remember EC3 goes like, yes, that's what I want you to do. And I feel like this was helping both guys out at the same time here. Even though that's kind of weird to say. I mean, like wrestling it's crazy. Because like you need both guys to work together here. And that's what both of them did. They both made this thing really good here. And I don't think there was really a winner or a loser here, because there wasn't really a 1, 2, 3. There wasn't any pinfall really here, so I don't think that anybody lost right here. But I just like how cinematic this was, and I like the directions that they went. It was different from like all the other stuff we've seen throughout the year, and I feel like we're getting accustomed to seeing cinematic matches on on all these big shows and stuff, which is cool. And I remember the announcers, Josh Matthews and Don Callis. They kind of allude, going like, "So did EC3 help Moose out here and stuff?" Like after the match was over, like they were. But I feel like we finally got the clarification why EC3 is doing what he's doing, which is awesome. And the storytelling of this is awesome. I don't think this is over by a long shot. I think they're going to continue this more, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens with this. And I actually hope that Moose goes for the world title really soon here, because, like he said, ever since he's got to Impact, he should be world champion, which is crazy how he hasn't won the world championship. Like it's mind-boggling. He's one of their top stars. It's just crazy. But no, I really enjoyed this. And I also there was one spot during the match where they had the guardrail, like you alluded to. We were watching the show together, and like there's just a random barricade like crossed over, and you're like, someone's gonna go through that barricade. That was a nice spot during the match. But no, it was fun watching that. It was fun. Fun match.
Definitely.
But like I said, I don't think there was really any loser here in this match.
Agree. I think they kind of built on each other. Moving into Ken Shamrock versus Eddie Edwards. This was just one of those matches for some reason I couldn't get into. I'm not certain to why. Like I don't know what it was about this match that just wasn't resonating with me. But like I could not get behind this match at all. And like I said, I think this is one of those matches that maybe needed a little bit of a crowd to like help it out, to push us a little bit, to kind of help us like find the emotion that we needed with this one, because I just wasn't impressed. I mean, I just wasn't like into it. I wasn't into this match like I was some of the others. Like I wasn't as excited about this match as I was, of course, Moose and EC3, the six person match early on, even the return of Su Yung or stuff like that. Like I just wasn't as excited going into this one. I mean, even with Su Yung, like I felt like it was missing like the whoa she's back, really, like like that. It was kind of missing a little bit, but I mean it was okay to me. Like this is one I want to go back and watch again. Just because like I felt like I kind of tuned out a little bit watching this match, maybe because of the lack of a crowd, or just because I wasn't really interested in this storyline. Like this storyline is interesting too because it stems back to Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards' whole deal, their whole ordeal. But at the same time, like Ken Shamrock's just doing Sami Callihan's dirty work. It feels like, in a way. So I don't know. It was okay. Ken ended up winning with Sami Callihan's, help. He kind of turned the lights off with his little hacker thing, his little hacker thing that he does. He turned the lights off and
with his phone.
Right, right. But I mean, it was okay. What's your thoughts on Shamrock, Eddie Edwards?
I have to agree. I think this match, I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just odd. This match, I really finding myself really wasn't into the match. I kind of zoning out during the match and stuff. I think this is kind of this sleeper match of the show, in my opinion. Like I said, not saying that it's a bad match, because both these guys, are great in the ring, and the two different contracting of styles, because you had Ken Shamrock doing more of the MMA type of style of, wrestling, and then you had Eddie Edwards doing more of like a, more pure wrestling type of style, do more of that, which I like that different contracting of styles during the match. But yeah, I was kind of expecting them to give Ken Shamrock to win because, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame earlier that night. So I go like, why make him lose on his Hall of Fame night? And hopefully this is the end of the whole rivalry here, because I don't want to see this continue. Like I said, I agree. This match was just really odd and stuff. Oh, no. And after what we've just seen, that big cinematic match, I feel like, I don't know, like you said, there should have been a crowd for this match because maybe I would have been more into it. But I don't know. There's just something off about this match. But like I said, it wasn't bad by any means. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt too. Get into the tag team title match with the North, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Good Brothers, and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. At the beginning of this match, Alex Shelley got attacked and was taken out for the match. I don't know if that's because he was injured or that's because they just wanted to do that in storyline or what, but that was kind of weird. It was kind of weird that he just never came back. It wasn't weird that it happened because it happens all the time, but it was weird that he never came back. That was kind of my thing. Like I was like, wait, what? Yeah, you got something?
Oh yeah. So I wish the announcers would have said like what was going on. Like even the announcers were confused. Like, well, why is Alex Shelley not coming back out? Like, is Chris Sabin going to wrestle alone? Like they were kind of confused also, and like that just made me even more confused during watching this. Like what's wrong with Alex Shelley? Like, so there was a lot of stuff I was confused about. Like especially. I don't know if it's the next match. I think it is the next match, which I'll be really confused about that one. But I don't know. It was just I felt odd about that. But you continue now.
Yeah, I thought it was just weird because I mean, typically we'll see this happen and then like oh Alex Shelley comes back out. Like it's not something that stays. Like it doesn't stick for the whole the whole thing. Like that's what I was confused about. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean it was a good match. It was good. There was a lot of things happening in this match. It broke down a couple times, which was good. These four-way matches are typically pretty wild. They typically have a wild side to them. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was good. Like, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good match. I think there was so much going on, and I guess it's kind of like the six-man match earlier, and even the gauntlet match a little bit too, where these matches you don't really need as much of a crowd because there's so much going on that it kind of keeps you going, and keeps you on your toes the whole time. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean, it was good. I was surprised by the ending. I did not expect the North to regain the titles. I've been talking about for a while what the heck they're gonna do with the North without the titles, and I guess give them back the titles. So that that'll be interesting. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose at Hard to Kill. I just because like they just had the titles for over a year. I think they became then. I mean they definitely became the longest reigning tag team champions in Impact's history. So it's kind of weird that they decided to give them the titles back. But at the same time, I like the North so much that it's not a big deal. Like I'm completely fine with it. I'm completely fine with the North being tag champions. But anyway, what's your thoughts on this four-way match? Can you hear me? Are you there?
Yeah. Okay. So like we said about the beginning of the match, with Alex Shelley getting taken out, I thought that was kind of awkward there at the beginning because like, what's that? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? We good? Yeah, we good? Yeah, you were kind of off sync there for a minute, but hey, you know what? We all good now. We like Impact Wrestling. We're just going to sweep it under the rug here. Man, I tell you, some of the technical difficulties that Impact has, they make it look like. I just want to go back to one thing before I talk about this match about them. Heath Slater and Rhino segment. They had to count them in. Like what? Like come on, Impact. I mean, they haven't. I mean, it's not. It's just I don't understand
Look,
sometimes
and it was funny.
the technical difficulties that they go through.
Justin, what was funny was that Josh Matthews had a thing, I guess an audio issue maybe, with Falaba, and he was like, "Can somebody get us some audio?" And that felt like it was more planned, but there was no planning counting them back in because they had already started the promo. I just thought it was funny, like I understand it, coming from my background, I get it, but like it's just funny, and a little frustrating when you're on the other end of it. But I was like, what is happening right now?
No, but that was the crazy part though in the show. But back about this match, I feel like it was kind of awkward when Ali Shelley got taken out. I go like, it's kind of awkward silence there for a minute, and like, what the heck is going on? Like, is Chris Sabin going to be able to go into this match alone now? But nonetheless, I thought this match was good. But at points, I felt like, because we always see like basically at all the pay-per-views, we see multi-band like tag team matches, or like fair four-way tag team matches, or triple threat tag team matches, whatever. And I feel like you wouldn't see some great stuff that happens, but I feel like at some points it's underwhelming at some points, because like you go like, yeah, you want to see the Good Brothers do some amazing work, but like everybody gets lost in the shuffle of things. You got so much stuff breaking down, and it gets crazy. Some points you don't even know what the heck is going on. But I thought the match was good, and I was really surprised about the North getting the titles back and the way that they got them back. With I think it was Ethan Page hitting. It was one of the Good Brothers.
It was Carl Anderson, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was Carl Anderson. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Carl Anderson getting hit with the title. I was surprised they took the pinfalls here. Well, maybe they have an excuse going like, hey, you know what? We won a match first. Or, I feel like at the next pay-per-view or, next special that they have, I feel like the machine guns are going to get North and the Good Brothers go at it, because that would be an amazing match to see. But I thought that Ace Fulton, what? Madman Fulton and Ace Austin, combining their names here. I thought that was pretty cool, like the stuff that they were doing, because I feel like we don't see like I thought they were going to be like the odd ones out here, because they're newly tag team and stuff. And we don't really see them tag up very much, but they were actually holding their own's pretty good here, because we see the Good Brothers, we see the Guns tag the Motors and Machine Guns, and then we see the North tag up all the time, but we never really see Ace Austin and Madman Fulton do this. So I like that. That was pretty cool, and I feel like Ace Austin has been becoming his like really own character this year. Like he's been really growing a lot, but. Like I said, this was a fun match to watch, but underwhelming at some points.
All right. So another title change, and actually match change that we had was we originally were scheduled for Kylie Ray versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts title, which I was really excited for. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great, right? This is gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Like the funny part was like we had waited, on this. Like they did a good job. We talked about it in the preview. They did a good job of like pushing this off with Wrestle House and like letting it kind of just build a little bit, letting Deonna build her own little character while Kylie was away and stuff like that. And then out of the blue, Kylie, of course Kylie's music plays. No Kylie. No reason why she's not there. Just here comes Su Yung. Here she is. And they're also, and I don't know, maybe this is me nitpicking or looking too much into the minor details here, but I also thought it was weird that Su Yung. It wasn't weird that she came back here, because they injured Susie, but like, is Su Yung like able to heal from a broken arm supposedly that Susie had? Since they are technically the same person, and that's been documented. That was weird too. That like, I would have. I don't know. I expected them to do something with the arm. Not even have it in a sling or anything. Just like maybe have extra marking on it where she like healed it or something. I don't know, something. But that was kind of weird. But I mean,
It's
nonetheless,
those demon powers she has. She's
yeah,
all magical powers.
that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know. This match was another one I really want to go back and watch because I did enjoy it. They had some really good spots, especially on the apron. I know Su Young hit a really nice move on the apron on Deonna. It was very physical. It was kind of personal too. And I love the kind of psychology of her trying to do the mandible claw, of course. That little psychology at the end with close to the end with Deonna locking in her submission hold, and then Su Young does the mandible claw while she's got the submission hold on and she's got to break it. That was cool. I always like stuff like that. That was a very good little chemistry right there that they exhibited. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I was surprised, as you can see, Su Young did win the Knockouts title. That was surprising, and really kind of threw me off guard a little bit. I was not expecting Su Young to first off come. I mean, I was expecting her to come back, but not like that. Like I thought she was gonna come back and maybe cost Kylie the win, or come back and cost Deonna the title, or something like that. That was a little surprising. But they didn't write Kylie off. Like they didn't say like, oh, she's injured, or they didn't say what was going on. And a lot of people were upset about that because I think AEW is literally just straight up saying like, hey, they have COVID. Like I mean, and I'm okay with them even like keeping it kayfabe or whatever, keeping, staying in kayfabe and saying, hey, having somebody come out of her locker room and like Deonna comes out of her locker room with a chair or a kendo stick or something, and we know
or like Kimberly could have went in there, took her out or
right,
something.
Like that would like they could have easily did that, but they didn't do anything. They just kind of let her music play. And then out of the blue, Su Young came out and returned, and Su Young ended up being in the match. That was also something like it's weird because on one hand, Impact has management, like they have literal on-screen management in Scott D'Amore, but he didn't come out at all and say, okay, I mean, we all know how he is. Like he did it with Rohit too at the, after he, not after he escaped with the title, but the week before or 2 weeks before. When he made the 6-way match, giving people opportunities and all that. So why didn't he come out and say, not sure what? I mean, even like he could have literally said, we're not sure what's going on with Kylie Ray. Like if they did something, anything, right? Like we're gonna go check on Kylie Ray now, but as of now, we get. I mean, I get it. On one hand, she did, Deonna did say I'm doing an open challenge. I'm still going to defend my title, so that does make sense with Su Young coming out. But like, it was just, I don't know, it was just weird. It was just weird. Like it was good, but it was weird. The match was good, but it was weird. Like it just wasn't enough. Nothing was really explained, and I was like, but I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's up with Kylie, or at least I want to feel like I know what's going on with Kylie. Something, but. Nonetheless, I mean, good match. I've always been hard on Su Young. I've always been like, I don't know if I like Su Young. She's just Rosemary to me. She's just low budget Rosemary to me. But like, I think I've backed off that a little bit because number one, we haven't seen her for a while. Number two, like, I like Susie and I like the versatility she shows with the Susie character. So I think I'll be able to like understand her a little bit more. And plus, I mean, you got to remember when I was first watching Su Young, I didn't know anything about her. She just came to Impact, and they didn't do a good job of booking her at that time. They literally just booked her as a Red Rosemary at that point. So like I needed more than that, and hopefully now that she's champion, we could possibly get more than that. And now that we've seen her whole little Susie persona, that we may get a little bit more with her. But I mean. Good match. Interesting. Where's Kylie Ray? I want to know. I miss Smiley Kylie. Justin, thoughts?
Okay, so this is the match I really kind of have a gripe about, and I think everybody does. Because, we were all, I mean, even when we were doing the predictions, we were expecting this match, and I thought this match was going to be a great match, and this was going to be one of the best matches of the night. and then this happens. I mean, the match wasn't bad. The match wasn't bad at all. It was a good match. It was just random. Like, I wish, like you said about the kayfabe part, have somebody come out of her locker room, keeping the kayfabe. Someone injured her, so she can't be in the match. So that's why Deonna Purrazzo is doing this open challenge. And also, having Su Yung come back so quickly. I definitely agree with what you said about like how they should have prolonged this. It's weird. Maybe they should have had somebody else come out. I don't know, but having her come back so quickly is just random, in my opinion. Because but I like how you could change her character on the snap of a dime. It's crazy how quick her character changes. But this match was good in my opinion. And also, I don't like how all these people are speculating, going, oh, she has COVID. Oh, she got injured. Oh, she's on bad terms with the company. That's all speculations. Like, I wish Impact would have clarified what's been going on. Like, what's going on with her. But they gave nothing. Nothing throughout the night. They didn't tweet anything. They didn't put anything on social, they didn't put anything on social media. They didn't tell on the show. I mean, actually, I heard that they did that on the pre-show, saying that Kylie Ray wasn't there. But if they do it on the pre-show,
exactly.
Go ahead.
That's what I was about to say. If you do it on the pre-show, then why not do
it? You gotta do it on the main
show?
card. I don't understand sometimes.
What I saw, Justin, too, people were upset that they promoted this match and didn't go through with this match. But wrestling companies do that all the time. They write people out of matches all the time. Like they'll promote it and then, got injured, can't do it, right? That's what, I don't have an issue with them changing this match on the fly. I just don't like that they didn't
give an explanation.
Yeah, it was like they didn't keep with kayfabe or something. Give us something to latch on to so we know what's going on. Even plant the seed. Was it Su Yung that did this? What's something, anything. I'll take anything. Just to know why we're not getting because you can't. I do agree you can't promote a match and then randomly not have that match. You literally can't. Even when they had promoted WWE had promoted Apollo Crews versus MVP for the Intercontinental for the US title that time, and Apollo, I think they said he had COVID at the time. I think that's what it was. And when Apollo wasn't going to be there, and they up to the point of the match, but they still wrote him off with an injury. So you got to do something. You can't just be Su Yung, get out there, go win the title, your turn. It also makes you wonder, was Kylie going to win the title this time? See, because I thought they were going to wait on Kylie winning the title because Deonna literally just won the title. Now, and I guess I got a question for you. Do you think this protects Deonna Purrazzo a little bit because she wasn't prepared? She wasn't prepared for Su Yung. If anybody, she's prepared for Susie to have an injured arm. She's prepared for Kylie Ray. Does that ease the pain of Deonna not being the champion anymore?
Yes and no. I don't know. I feel like she just lost the title too quickly and really random. Su Yung won the match. What? That didn't make sense. As we did in our predictions, I had Deonna Purrazzo retain him because I feel like it's just too early to take the title off of her. And maybe I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't take the title off. Maybe they were supposed to take the title off her, but I don't know. It's just really weird. But I was watching somebody's other review, and she was saying how since we didn't get this match, they were going what would this give you a title change right here? So maybe they were supposed to have Deonna Purrazzo retain with Kylie Ray, but right here they go, let's just change this whole entire plan and let's give her the title. And then maybe they could do something, maybe they could build something with the storyline. Go okay, yeah, I would maybe this week on Impact, she go I wasn't completely prepared for that. I want my rematch. So maybe they could do something with that.
Justin, you know what's weird about wrestling fans too is on one hand, we hate long runs, but we hate when people hot potato the championship too.
Yeah.
Like, so how do we please you, right? Like on
Right.
one hand, you want the element of surprise, so you want to feel like, oh yeah, Deonna's still gonna retain. You know, she's got Kimberly there, like, you know, she wasn't expecting this, but still, she's gonna retain. And then we give you the surprise factor, but then you're upset about the surprise factor. And then it's like, on the other hand, you don't want to see Deonna hold the title for a year plus because that's too long. Like, but then on the other hand, if Ring of Honor does it, it's okay. Like that like, I mean, we've seen it time and time again where certain companies kind of get a bad rep for it. You know, WWE, Impact, I mean, they literally get a bad rep for pretty much anything at this point. They could literally go to the ring and announce a wrestler, and oh, that was bad. So like,
that was bad. Yeah, Brian off. Yeah, I'm
like,
not watching the show anymore.
Exactly. Like, they're going out of business. What? Like, doesn't even make sense. So like
one person leaves, they go like, "Yep, this company's over. I'm done.
So,
I'm done."
So it's like Ring of Honor, like, who was it? Jay Lethal held the title for more than a year. Jay Briscoe held the title for more than a year, and that's because it's prestigious, right? But then if somebody in WWE holds the Universal title for a year or the WWE title for a year, that's too long. If somebody holds the Impact World title for a year, that's too long. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Like what's the? Nobody's upset that Jon Moxley's had the title for as long as he's had the title. What's the difference? Like that's what I'll never understand is people like pick and choose their arguments. On one hand, you're like, oh, you know, I want these long title runs. You know, I want the title to be prestigious. You can't hot potato the title, but then you're like, oh, that title reign was too long. Like,
or too short. Yeah, I definitely do agree.
It didn't make sense, but nonetheless,
I thought this match was really fun, and like I really liked the psychology that they both had in the ring together, and the how Deonna Purrazzo was really working on I keep wanting to say Susie. I don't know why. Su Young's arm during the match. Also, there was a really cool spot that you were talking about where she did it was like a side slam on the apron. Oh man, that was nice. That was nice. And we even saw Kimberly get involved in the match. You know, she tried to help Deonna Purrazzo retain, but she got misted in the face. And I also like that spot where they kind of had both submissions locked in at the same time. That was really, really cool, doing the mandible claw. And, you know, this was fun, but it was just really odd seeing the championship change hands and, you know, at the spur of the moment. Like what? But, I mean, I'm not disappointed in it. I just wish, like I said, I wish we got more explanation on why this was happening. But, yeah.
So, for this next one, you're a real Rich Swann fan if you expected this. You really are. Like you gotta be like a legit like Rich Swann fanboy to be like, yeah, I knew Rich Swann was gonna win the title, cause I didn't. He shocked the heck out of me. EY versus Rich Swann and a feud that we have both documented is very personal, and you know, Rich Swann tried to end his career. No, EY tried to end Rich Swann's career. I mean, for this match was good. You know, it had its physical moments, it had its technical moments, you know, and stuff like that. That was good. Like, I'm thinking EY's gonna win. Like even to the very end, like even when Rich Swann won, I'm like, wait, what? No. EY gonna get him and power drive him or something. Nah. Like Rich Swann hit that. What was it? Was it a Phoenix Splash?
It was a Phoenix Splash, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he hit the Phoenix Splash, and then he like sells it, right? Like he sells it, and then he or no, did he win?
No, he won by the Phoenix Splash.
Won with the Phoenix Splash. What did he hit?
He hit a frog splash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He hit something and sold it, and then went back up and tried something else. That's why, and at that point, I was like, yeah, EY's gonna get his knees up, and he's gonna power drive him, and he's gonna win. And then it didn't happen, and I was like, Literally, like I was literally like mouth open.
we were on the phone, and you saw my face. Like my mouth was wide open.
Yeah, I think we both said what, like collectively, because it was so surprising. Like, I mean, this one came out of left field, and on one hand, I'm okay with it. Like, Rich Swann is not one of those guys that's like always been a joke. So like, whoa, he won the title. It's so surprising. Like, Rich Swann's always been a good worker, but he's never felt like he's been a world champion. Like I've never looked at him in that way. Um, whereas like I can take it back to like a guy like Sami Callihan who took a long time to get a world title, and I guess because he was small, like it felt like he wasn't he wasn't a world champion until he actually won it. But it felt like he was always on the cusp of being a world champion because his promo skills are a freaking one. But this is interesting. Like I want to see what they're gonna do because I feel like it's gonna eventually. I mean, I feel like it's they're gonna probably he's gonna probably give the title back to EY probably at Hard to Kill. I think they're gonna continue to build this up. EY is gonna go crazy without the title because that's all he wanted, and then EY is gonna win it back, and then probably have a pretty decent run with it. I mean, I was surprised. I was just surprised because I mean. And I guess it was surprising because EY was on every Bound for Glory promo, and they played him over and over again. So it was like, yeah, EY definitely winning this one. He was like the figurehead of Bound for Glory, and then he lost the title. And of course, everybody came and celebrated with Rich Swann, which was cool. But I mean, match-wise, this was really good. I love EY's character. And I thought EY spit too much, when he used to spit in the air and then bat it into the crowd or something, or he used to just spit in the air and just into the crowd. But Rich Swann spits far too much. This man slobbers more than any wrestler I've ever seen. Like, this man will get hit and like, like I'm just like, really, Rich? Really? I mean, it's got to be between him and Sami Callihan because Callihan does similar things where he just. I'm just like, stop it! Like, would you?
Yeah, it looks disgusting.
Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. Like, I'm like,
yeah. There was one point in the match where I saw Rich Swann spit on his hand. I go like, is he gonna slap him in the face with that?
Right. I was like, no, stop it. But yeah, like, I mean. The match was good. Like, the match was just good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good match, really enjoyable. I'm excited to see what exactly they're gonna do. With Rich Swann as champion, I've never seen Rich Swann. I mean, of course, I've seen him as we've seen him as X Division champion, we've seen him as Cruiserweight champion. I think he did pretty good in those roles. But I think him working with Eric Young, like, is awesome for him too because Eric Young's such a good promo guy. That like them going back and forth, like they can just build off of each other and really make this into a really cool feud. I got a feeling, I got a feeling that he's gonna, I got a feeling that they're gonna have this special and he might go against EY at the special. But I think EY will win it back at Hard to Kill. Maybe he might win it back at the special, but I don't see them like hot potatoing it that quick. But I do feel like EY is going to win because I mean, besides Moose, like, who else is ready to have a title reign right now that, like, makes sense? That's about it.
That's about all right now. I mean, I think that's kind of what's lacking right now is the main event picture. I feel like that we need more people up there right now. But at the same time, I don't want too many people because then people get lost in the shuffle of things. Especially, that's what happens in WWE. But no, this match was fun. Like, I really enjoyed like the two different contracting of styles between both guys. You had the more methodical pace of Eric Young, and you had the more high flying style, the more fast paced style with Rich Swann, which is really cool.
Real quick, speaking of styles, and not AJ, but speaking of styles. It was interesting because I like how, and the commentators did a good job pointing this out, but like, it was at one point where Rich Swann got dumped on the apron and like landed
Oh yeah, he got
awkwardly or
dumped on
whatever.
his head, dude. That was a good
and then
spot.
EY started to go after his neck instead of his leg because that's what Swan was expecting for him to go after his leg. That was very
Yeah,
good storytelling.
yeah, that was really good. There was this one spot they were on top rope, and Eric Young hit this nice neck breaker off the top rope. I go like, oh man, dude, that was a good spot there in the match. But I like how Eric Young, like, it's crazy. The noises that they make without there being any crowd is crazy. Like you hear this like weird noises that they make. You go like, ugh, like especially Eric Young. He's making these like weird gasping noises. He's going like breathing noises. It's crazy. And back to stuff he's saying about Rich Swann spitting a lot. It looks like he has some blood coming up, bleeding out of his mouth a little bit during the match, and the announcers even alluded to that. And also, I like how Eric Young, he was targeting the neck of Eddie Edwards. Jeepers, this is oh man, Eric Young, wait now out. Rich Swann. Okay, there we go. Finally. No, but also I like when Eric Young was talking and he was like, "You're almost there, Rich. You're almost there." Like he was trying to pull himself up. You're almost to the turnbuckle. You can make it. And then he just punches him back down. And like he keeps talking to me. He goes like, "Stay down, stay down." I just love the dialogue that Eric Young was saying to Rich Swann. He goes like, "You're almost there. You can make it. You want to be that person who never dies. You can make it." No, but I really love that there. But like I said, like Rich Swann actually winning the title was like shocking. I go like my mouth was on the floor. I go like, what the heck just happened? Like, did he actually just win? Like, am I dreaming or something? But I like that he's the world champion because it builds up new stars to go up to the main event scene. Because I remember back when Eric Young first won the world title, like he's not going to be a serious world champion. But I like how they're building new stars over here in TNA. Like, okay, maybe this guy could be a world champion, but in different companies, we never see them in this type of role. So, which is going to be pretty cool to see here, see what happens with this. But overall, I really enjoyed this match, and probably one of the best matches of the year for Impact. One of the best matches in my opinion.
Well, and we talked about it too. Sometimes when you win the world title, it like changes your entire stock. Like it changes like exactly who you are. Like I understand that Casey's a big fan of mid card EY and like everything that EY's ever done, but like WWE's not signing EY without that world title run. It's not happening.
Exactly.
Same thing with AJ. Like I love AJ and I think AJ's great. But AJ didn't start like being this best wrestler in the world until when? Till he won the world title. Like
and until he went over to like New Japan saying, "Oh yeah, everybody was talking about AJ Styles," and
but that was after he became world champion in TNA.
Yeah,
to put him on that, to elevate him to that point. Yeah. Like same thing with like a guy like Christian when he came in. Like when he came in, he just felt so different when he won the title. Like it was like, whoa, like this is Christian? This is Christian? Are you kidding? So like that, that kind of like I feel like winning the world title does change who you are. Same thing with Jinder. Jinder's another one that like nobody, like zero people were thinking that Jinder number one was gonna win the title, but we're like, you know what, Jinder, man, I'm telling. But when he won the title, you're like, I could see this. I could see this.
Yeah, I definitely did agree. Like that really changes your stock once you win that world championship. And then, when, like say, I don't know, say Rich Swann ever goes back to WWE, this could change his whole stock over there in WWE. But, I feel like if he will go back right now, he's a little too small, and Vince likes them big guys, but I'm happy Rich won the title here, but I felt, and I think you agree with this also, I felt like this match, they should have had a crowd here, and they should have had a crowd for, like, at least have these wrestlers who came out and congratulated him should have been out ringside, cheering for Rich during the match. They should have had that, which I don't understand why they didn't do that. But yeah, it was good though.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think. I mean, I love Bound for Glory. I thought it was really good. Real quick, because I think we're about done. Real quick, I'm gonna pop up the different ways you can listen/watch. While we talk about our match of the night, what would be, Justin, your match of the night? Mine, Moose versus EC3. Perfect storytelling match, cinematic match. You don't need a crowd for it. Like, I don't get the clarity on EC3's character until now. Without that match, I'm still like, whose narrative is EC3 controlling? So, what's your match of the night?
Okay, so this is kind of hard. Okay, so mine's either between the main event or the Moose and EC3. I'm gonna have to say the main event here, just because of the shock value and how well these guys work together in the ring. But my second pick would I think this is really dead even though the Moose and EC3 and the main event. But no, this, like I said, I mean, there was not really anything bad on this show. Everything was actually pretty good on here, except for some weird decisions, not clarifying things. But no, it was good though. It was
Take
really
out the
fun.
technical difficulties and the some of the weird decisions. We got a Jameis Winston. No, I'm kidding. but Jameis Winston type stuff. No, but definitely. I mean, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Bound for Glory this year. I want to go back and we always talk about going back and watching some older ones and seeing somebody was quoted to say, and I wish I knew his name because I call him out, but somebody said this is the worst Bound for Glory since 2017. I don't even remember 2017 right off the top of my head. But I kind of disagree because I thought this was a pretty good show. I think you put a crowd in this, in this arena, and I think this is one of the best shows of the year. If you put a crowd in this arena to keep everybody going, this is because I mean, AEW's had some duds this year. So I mean, of course WWE. I think it's been a pretty strong year for WWE. They've had a couple of iffy pay-per-views, but I mean, I think given the circumstances, I think it was a pretty good show. It had the shock value in it, which is what you want from your biggest pay-per-view of the year. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a really solid show. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, I mean, like I said, a really solid show. I mean, yeah, one of the best shows of the year in professional wrestling, in general. It was fun, and I feel like if they worked out some of these duds, this could be even better than that. You know what I mean? So it was fun though. I enjoyed it.
Agreed. I think we are going to do the Hell in a Cell review possibly Tuesday. I know I'll be doing some things with Justin on Juggernaut 097's YouTube channel. So we'll be over there doing some reviews. I don't know if we're doing one for this one. I can't remember right off the top of my head, Justin. What are we doing?
I think we're going to do the Hell in a Cell review tomorrow.
Right. So
and then
yeah,
we'll do the Hell in a Cell review tomorrow, and then we're also going to do probably a watch along. I don't know what channel we're going to do it on yet.
Right.
We're going to do watch along for Halloween Havoc 1997. And and of course, on this channel, tomorrow night we got week 8. Damn, yeah. I can't believe it's gonna be week 8 already.
Week 8. Goodness, crazy. Thank the Lord we're past the bye week. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. Now it's Ravens Steelers week, baby. I'm excited. Oh goodness. Oh, and I gotta hear the Steelers be undefeated for one more week.
Oh man.
But nonetheless, we hope you guys enjoyed. Some of the other things that we got coming, we got some discussions coming. Definitely the Otis discussion is coming soon. I think we're supposed to do something on workhorses, and definitely a discussion on wrestling companies what wrestling companies are potentially one star away from being competition to WWE possibly. But nonetheless, if you haven't already, give this video a like or a share or wherever you may be. Share whatever platform you're listening / watching this on. Make sure you tag us, ICW_podcast on Twitter or on Facebook, the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys very, very soon, especially for our listening audience. Of course, for picks. And other than that, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks, Justin, for coming by. For DJ, we'll see you.